Now look, I can't tell you everything that creative director Davide Soliani has been doing over the last 5 or so years. Like, I don't have a window into his life, okay? I'm not 100% sure what movies he saw, or where he traveled to, or even how much mini golf he played. But I can tell you this. Since 2017, Davide has been developing his heart out. This guy has grown his game design chops by at least 500% in the past 5 years. Because he's improved every facet of the game he helped build. And I'm here to tell you that Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope is a freaking brilliant Mario game. And the pseudo spin-off Mario Galaxy title we never knew we'd be lucky enough to get. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switch Force, and back when the Switch launched, man, we love Mario plus Rabbids. It was one of the biggest earlier surprises. We always talked about it. It was always on a good sale. The Donkey Kong expansion was great. And look, first off, it wasn't Nintendo at the helm, but instead Ubisoft. This wasn't Climb the Tower Ubisoft, Rinse and Repeat Ubisoft, Never Make Splinter Cell Ubisoft. No, this was creative, different, and fresh Ubisoft. This was Davide convincing Miyamoto and Nintendo to let him pair Mario with turn-based battles, tactical combat, and shootable weapons. Like actual guns blowing away all sorts of hybrid enemies. Unheard of, but accomplished. And the best part was, for as annoying and worrisome as the Rabbid part of the branding were, it didn't sully one of the coolest and most recommended Switch games. They navigated that line beautifully. So fast forward to 2022, right here in October, and Ubisoft and Nintendo are collaborating again on Sparks of Hope, the sequel that promises to do everything bigger and better. I didn't really know how that would actually take effect until I got my hands on the game. But holy crap, they've taken this from cool and quirky diversion to must-play Mario mayhem. Now, I know some of you will be turned off by the XCOM-style battles. You take cover, you wait for the enemies to shuffle into place, but please, my friends, you got any love for me or the channel, trust me, and treat this like an actual Mario game. Gone is the antiquated arrow pointing your characters where to go system. Alright, you no longer just move Beepo and say, please go here, I'll watch as you do so. No. That has all been bulldozed out of the way by a brilliant new system. And here it is, alright? It's really complicated. It's difficult to understand. Even uses words too big for my brain. Here we go. The system is called You Just Be Mario. Yeah, that's it. In Sparks of Hope, you directly control the characters in battle, and while it's still turn-based, this makes all the difference in the world. All of it. When they showed this free movement in trailers, I wasn't sure if it moved the needle all that much. I was like, oh, you move Mario. Innovation! We haven't seen this before, but guys, it moves the needle so much it laps itself. Running around, dashing into enemies, bouncing off your teammates, smashing the stick forward, hoping to get just a little more juice out of your flight. By keeping control in your hands, Sparks of Hope does what every sequel should do. It keeps the core foundation, but makes the entire experience exponentially better. That better carries over to every facet of this game, except probably one, but we'll get to that a little later. The UI has taken a big step up, and the overall aesthetic and function of the menus, the upgrade trees, the battle screen, it makes the original Kingdom battle almost feel half-baked. Like, you can tell that was a first draft of now what I feel is the final product. Because everything makes sense and flows smoothly, and it's a good thing too because there's much more to manage this time around. You've got skill trees that allow you to build out your Mario, your Luigi, your Peach, your Bowser, or your Rabbids in a style that fits your idea of the best Mushroom Kingdom squad. But it's the titular sparks that really enhance things, quite literally. Borrowing so much of the theme, charm, and sounds from Mario Galaxy is a brilliant move. It's one of the best iterations 3D Mario has ever seen. It's a beautiful game, and it lends so much Nintendo-y goodness to this game. And the sparks also boost battles to another level, maybe even too high of a level, but it's an amazing addition, and I'm so glad that they're more than just an afterthought. Now, I'm only allowed to show you the first 3 planets of the game, but if you like what you see here, it only gets better and better. And it begins with those sparks, all right? They all add a new move and boost to whoever they're equipped to in your roster. Usually it's elemental, splash damage, fire damage, toxic damage, but sometimes it's more crafty too, like a reflection spell to ricochet damage back to the attacker, an evil curse to lock an enemy in place so they can't attack or move for a turn, a magical song to drag nasty minions more near your brouhaha battle skills. There's tons of sparks in Sparks of Hope, as there should be, and it's really great to collect them as you go. Many will just pop up before a battle and say, "Yo, win this fight, and you get me." Yeah, I do get you, little spark. I really do. In fact, I may get you a bit too well, especially once this little boost is upgraded, because man, are they useful. That's a good thing, but think about it numerically, all right? You're allowed to equip 2 sparks per character, which means in most of the 3-man setups, you've got access to 6 sparks per battle. That's 6 sparks, 3 main attacks, 3 secondary abilities, dashes, jumps, movements, and items too, because now there's items and they're really useful. All right, some heal, some give you another turn of movement, some are just a big old nasty POW block to deal a bunch of damage. Send it to the sisters and say sayonara. You've got so much at your disposal that I will say the game is on the easier side. It's probably my only complaint, if you can call it that. Now, you can turn the difficulty up, and there are a bunch of deeper and more challenging side quests, but it's clear that they intended to make sure this one was going to be accessible to almost all Mario fans. It's not really a bad thing per se, but it was something that did kind of tip me like, I wish this was different. Now, there's a lot of additional content for those who want it, and you can explore more grueling battles in areas of each planet, but most of the time I was wiping the floor with insane chain attacks, wondrous combos, and sparks flying, literally and figuratively, all the time. Luckily though, the battles are super fun. Okay, they've become more expansive, more varied, and just better. Primarily because of your ability to freely move your characters all over the place. It's snappy, easy to understand, and you really can create some nifty tricks, like setting Luigi into Overwatch. Just before lighting up an electric spark with edge. To then dash into your opponent, zing, fling him up into the air, wah, and have Luigi fire away with his sniper in waiting for a very cool combo kill. Goodnight, you beat the battle 1 turn before you thought you would. It's brilliant. Everything looks really cool, and Sparks of Hope does have a fresh coat of paint. Maybe it's not 100% of the way to a first-party 3D Mario game, but everyone moves and looks much more lifelike than the waxy action figures of the first game. I did think it was a little off back in Kingdom Battle. The worlds themselves are actually quite gorgeous, thanks in part to level design that goes its own direction. I'm all for Nintendo references, and there still are some good ones here, but I actually think the team really benefited from finding their own style. There's frozen peaks, dark forests, vine-laced train tracks. Sparks of Hope has some awe-inspiring moments, and the OLED screen brings these to life. I'm impressed by the planets they've built here, as that's the way you'll progress through the game. Arrive on a planet, meet the warden, chuckle a bit, solve some main quests, unearth a whole lot of side quests, fix the planet, beat the boss, and move on. Now, there aren't tons of planets here. I kind of assumed there would be. It's more like 5 or 6, but each is surprisingly large, and they really do get both bigger and better as the game progresses. The 3rd and 4th planets in particular, really great. I didn't have as much time as I would have liked to fully explore these locales, because I was trying to finish this for the review embargo, but there's lots of hidden items, little puzzles to solve, and fun characters to meet. Sparks of Hope nails the silly humor of, say, a Mario plus Luigi type game, rest in peace, Alpha Dream, without ever giving itself over to boring, rabid banter. The voice work is really fun, with Beepo the man in charge, and all the other characters have some fun quips too. One of my favorites being Rabid Mario on his attack says 1, 2, 4. Genius. The entire cast is really cool, and I think with 9 total faces to choose from, you do have a lot of tactical options and opportunity to experiment. If you want to make it so, this really is a deep battle experience. This really can be an immersive way to tactically tear down every map you see, and there's a quick replay option if you do want to try and do it better, faster, stronger. Although I will say, experiment isn't super necessary, and I cannot lie, as much as I love her as a character, I never once used Peach. A truly defensive character seemed superfluous given the main quest difficulty level and the fact that many of the sparks give you so much strategic variety. I didn't need a true defender. You can swap your team and your sparks before you hit go on any battle, and that foresight alone gives you a real tactical advantage. But back to the planets for a second, Sparks of Hope does include a bunch of environmental puzzles and navigational head scratchers. Don't worry though, no risk of inflammation here, as you'll only need a scratch or 2 because the puzzles are simple, but they are a good time. Beepo gets some abilities that allow him to manipulate the environment, and the overall commitment to making this game fully fleshed out is really appreciated. You can blaze through to the boss, avoiding all the side battles, Rabbid requests, and Sparks crying for your help, but I bet you'll end up doing a good chunk of that. Even though I was able to push my way through, stubbornly and with some good spark management, I do wish I had more time to take in these wonderful planets on display here. So have fun with them. You're not in any rush, and I think there's a lot of clever stuff that will only increase your enjoyment. I won't spoil any part of the story, but it's nothing too crazy. Sparks of Hope is more focused on fun character moments from both your Mushroom Kingdom friends and the Rabbid Wardens you encounter, each with their own origin story told through gorgeous stained glass paintings narrated by Beepo. And Beepo and your spaceship's AI also have some memorable banter, and I can confirm to you that Bowser is a more than adequate replacement for Yoshi. Sorry Yoshi fans, but the Bowser Mario team-up is always one of my favorite things in gaming, and it pays off here too. Even the original character, Edge, is likable and more importantly, very usable. Those dashes, extra dashes, ooh, love that. Although this game does mostly move away from the rabbidified Nintendo characters as enemies, there's still a good chunk of different types of baddies, and they all have their own specific weaknesses and abilities to overcome. So there's no Rabbid Wario, but the boss encounters do keep things fresh, and I feel like they mix up the opposition enough that the battles are routinely surprising, engaging, and never repetitive. But keep an eye out for those epic enemies buried deep in each planet. That's your ticket to the toughest fights and the special currency that opens up the last column of your skill tree. There's also some secret vaults to unlock that rewards you with more sparks and more weapon skins. I'm telling you, the game is deep. It's an onion. Each planet has layers. Maybe one day you'll find Shrek. I didn't, but you never know. The game also runs great, performance-wise, it plays great, it loads great, it reloads great, super important. It's hard for me to find flaws, guys and girls. I'm serious. Across the board, there's a level of polish here that is worthy of Nintendo's mark. And maybe even a little bit more in some areas? I know the Switch is underpowered, I know Nintendo has different goals in mind, but sometimes I do want a nice, juicy, big game to dive into. An exciting adventure that sucks up my time and wonder. The ones that trigger that coveted, oh, just one more battle mentality. Sparks of Hope does that for me. There's nuance in this one. There's tons to investigate and explore, characters to grow and customize, sparks to mix and match. It's not just Mario Strikers with online mode and a lackluster string of single-player matches. No, Sparks of Hope is a full dang game. It's a meaty single-player title that team jumps off its predecessor. Sparks of Hope may not have the glitzy custom edition Switch OLED of Splatoon 3 or the relentless marketing and sales power of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but don't be surprised if Mario + Rabbids Second Journey is the best Switch game of 2022. Thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this review. Go get the game. It is hard to not recommend this to everyone. They have made it accessible. There's depth if you want it. It looks good, plays good, sounds good. The planets are fun. It's Galaxy back in our Mario, and Davide, I end this with a salute to you. You've made the kid happy. You made a bunch of people happy. I think you got a brilliant game on your hands here. I think you took a fancy, fun, unique idea and you developed the heck out of it, and you got your masterpiece. So let me know what you think, everybody. Are you going to grab Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope? It sparkles. It sure does. Let me know in the comments down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. And until next time, everybody, love you a lot. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Switch Force out.